energy that we have. We're going to move forward. Never underestimate the power of a woman. We're an all-female band. Look out! Sad as it was, and we didn't want to because these are her sisters, we fired her.
Outside people were trying to direct where we were going, and it didn't like where they were taking us. I just said, I'd rather work at a McDonald's. What I considered to be whoring what we had done.
They used to bully me because, people thought I was the cutest one in the band, or the shortest one in the band, or the most talented one in the band. And the girls hated that.
What did lawyers discover in ASCAP's database that would expose one of the biggest fraud scandals in music history? Cheryl wrote minimally and none of the hits, presenting herself as Klymaxx for, of all things, a songwriting award would be laughable if it weren't just plain fraudulent. That was Bernadette Cooper, founder of Klymaxx. And what she's talking about? A betrayal so deep, it tore apart one of the most groundbreaking all-female bands of the 1980s.
One of our original members, Cheryl Cooley, who I refer to as #thirsty, keeps trying to copyright the name Klymaxx just for her exclusive use.
But here's the twist that'll shock you. The same group that broke barriers as the first all-female band to write, produce, and play their own instruments is now at war with each other. And it all started with a trademark scheme that went horribly wrong.
Recently, the Trademark Commission approved her application, and she had to, you have to publish it for opposition for 30 days. So, of course, we all got together and we got an attorney.
Before the platinum albums, before the top 5 hits, before the millions in royalties, Klymaxx was just 6 young women from Los Angeles who had a revolutionary dream. They wanted to prove that women could rock just as hard as men. But what really happened when success came calling? Why are there now 3 different versions of Klymaxx touring?
And people, I'll get electronic mail or comments from people who are like, they advertised the Klymaxx show, and I don't know who was singing I Miss You, but nobody in that band has ever been on a Klymaxx record. I'm like, I apologize. You're right.
And how did one member allegedly steal songwriting credits from her own bandmates? Let's start with the real story. December 29, 1958, Compton, California. Bernadette Cooper enters the world, destined to change music forever. But growing up in one of LA's toughest neighborhoods, music just wasn't a dream. It was survival. In the late 1970s, Bernadette Cooper had a vision that sounded impossible. An all-female band where women don't just sing pretty harmonies. They write the songs, produce the records, and play every single instrument.
I just had this epiphany one day sitting in my accounting class, and I said, this is not really what I want to do. I really want to put together an all-girl band, just kind of like rule the world.
In 1979, Cooper started holding auditions. For years, she searched for the perfect combination of talent and attitude. She wasn't just looking for musicians, she was looking for revolutionaries.
Anywhere in proximity of the Los Angeles, California area that I could drive to find a girl who was a musician, I went.
The original lineup came together like destiny. Bernadette Cooper on drums and vocals.
So I used to play very hard, but I was determined to put some femininity into it. And so I added a little flair, and I used to add a little, sexiness to it and a little drama.
Lorena, a.k.a. Lungs, Porter Shelby, bringing powerhouse vocals that could shatter glass.
She was very sweet when she walked in and went to the microphone. This wailing, crazy, loud voice came out. We were like, oh, wow.
Cheryl Cooley on guitar.
When I was 8 years old, I had this dream. I was on stage and I was playing guitar.
Lynn Mousby on keyboards. Robin Greider was rounding out the sound. But they were missing one crucial piece, a bass player who could match their revolutionary spirit. Enter Joyce Fenderella Irby. And her story, it's pure legend.
I drove my father crazy. He was like, please, I know you want to be a musician, but you can't make a living doing that.
Joyce used to stand outside concert venues in the South with her bass guitar strapped around her neck, playing on loading ramps, not begging for money, not asking for autographs. She was demanding respect through pure talent. George Clinton himself noticed her. The godfather of funk used to make her sit with him after concerts, listening to her play, becoming her mentor. She even signed with his P-Funk collective as Fenderella. But it was Solar Records president Dick Griffey who changed everything. He spotted Joyce on one of those loading ramps and told producer Leon Silvers, We need her.
The first thing that I thought was they couldn't find anybody in California to play bass that was better than me. I was like, yes.
In 1981, Joyce gets the call. Fly to LA, join this revolutionary all-female band called Klymaxx. The early years were a struggle. Their debut album, Never Underestimate the Power of a Woman, barely made a dent in the charts. The title track peaked at just number 74 on the R&B charts. Their second album, Girls Will Be Girls, featured production from Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, but still no major breakthrough.
Our mothers were telling us, I told you so. We were telling each other, oh my God, what are we going to do?
It was really depressing and scary.
The industry wasn't ready for what they were bringing.
To let them be free, because they had been in the box.
But something magical happened during those sessions. Jimmy Jam heard Joyce singing while he played piano and insisted she take lead vocals. That decision would change everything.
We got her to sing something and she sounded like Michael Jackson.
In 1984, the breakthrough finally arrived with Meeting in the Ladies' Room.
Because I'm not in the mood.
But success comes with a price nobody saw coming. The album's first single, The Men All Pause, written by Joyce and Bernadette, stormed up the R&B charts. Finally, the world was paying attention. Then comes I Miss You, written by Lynn Mousby, the song that changed everything.
I heard I Miss You upon waking from sleep at 3 o'clock in the morning. I walked into my living room where my piano was set up, and I sat down and started playing it and just kind of channeled it. It was that easy.
The ballad hits number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100. It becomes the third biggest selling song of 1986. Suddenly, Klymaxx isn't just a curiosity. They're superstars.
This was one of those songs could be played in all formats. That's the kind of song that you play on the station where they played the Sinatra.
Meeting in the Ladies' Room goes platinum. They're selling out concerts. MTV can't stop playing their videos. They've proven that women can dominate every aspect of music.
Because if you say you can't do it, I'm going to show you that I can.
But behind the scenes, something sinister was brewing.
All of us were thinking, now's my time to make my move. Every last one of us.
Success brings new pressures. Everyone wanted a piece of Klymaxx. Movie soundtracks start calling. Rod Temperton, the genius behind Michael Jackson's Thriller, wrote Man-Sized Love for the Running Scared soundtrack. In 1987, their self-titled fourth album featured collaborations with the biggest names in music. Babyface wrote I Still Say Yes. The album spawned 4 charted singles. But success also brings ego clashes.
Did you have now a famous all-girl band? But now you had individuals within the bands who were becoming accomplished writers. You know, Lynn Mossby, Joyce Irbies, the Mice.
Joyce was offered a solo deal with Motown. The catch? She can stay in Klymaxx and pursue her solo career. Sounds perfect, right? Wrong. The other members weren't having it. In 1989, they kicked her out the group entirely.
It was like I was sitting in the room and got run over by a truck. I had no clue, and it was emotionally devastating.
Joyce's solo career explodes. Her duet with Dougie Fresh's Mr. DJ hits number 2 on the charts. It's actually the number 1 selling record in America, but many radio stations won't play it because of the rap content.
Hey, Mr. DJ, please play my favorite song.
Meanwhile, Bernadette leaves to pursue her own solo career, signing with MCA Records and releasing Drama, according to Bernadette Cooper.
She wanted to do something on her own, so she basically left us. I would say left us for dead. That's how it felt to me.
By 1989, the classic lineup was shattered. Only Cheryl Cooley, Lorena Stewart, and Robin Greider remained to record. The Max is back in 1990. The album flops. The magic is gone. Klymaxx officially disbanded.
I got a phone call from the management and they said, you no longer have a contract with MCA. Have a nice day. Click.
But this is where the story gets real ugly. In the early 2000s, Cheryl Cooley made a move that ignited a war. she tried to trademark the Klymaxx name for her exclusive use. She wanted to own the name that Bernadette Cooper created. Can you believe it?
We worked very hard to get that name, maintain that name. And you took that name and you don't feel anything you owe us any apology for what you tried to do?
The court battle is bitter. The other original members are furious. How dare she try to steal the legacy they all built together?
The only reason why I put a trademark in the name was because after all of you had abandoned me and I had all new people.
In 2004, VH1's Bands Reunited brought 5 of the 6 original members back together again. But when it was time to perform, Cheryl Cooley was banned from the stage. The tension was so thick, you could cut it with a knife. The legal verdict came down. Any original member can use the Klymaxx name, but they must feature their own name to avoid misleading the public. Hence, Klymaxx featuring Bernadette Cooper and Joyce Irby in Klymaxx. But Cheryl Cooley doesn't stop there. This is where lawyers discovered what might be the most shocking fraud in music history. Original members started noticing something strange in ASCP's database. Songwriting credits were changing. Publishing shares were disappearing. Songs they wrote were now listing Cheryl Cooley as a co-writer or even sole writer. Joyce Irby sent an email to Sony Music Publishing. Not only had Cooley stolen large parts of my, Lynn, and Bernadette's shares, but she has removed the names of other legitimate co-writers. The allegations were explosive. Did Cheryl Cooley systematically alter songwriting credits to steal royalties from her bandmates? But the scandal gets even worse. In 2021, the inaugural Women's Songwriters Hall of Fame announced Klymaxx as an inductee. The original members are thrilled until they realize what's happening. The Hall of Fame is inducting Cheryl Cooley's version of the band. The woman who allegedly stole songwriting credits is being honored for songs she didn't write. Bernadette Cooper, Joyce Irby, and Lynn Mousby are outraged. They provide documentation of the credit disputes. They email the organization repeatedly. The response: if you guys decide you're going to come, we'll let everyone know you're in the audience. They're being treated like fans at their own induction. Shocking, right? Today, the legacy of Klymaxx is fractured into 3 touring versions: Bernadette Cooper's version, Joyce Irby's version, and Cheryl Cooley's version. The one that somehow keeps getting the recognition. But here's what makes the story even more heartbreaking. Joyce Irby didn't just lose Klymaxx. She became one of the most successful behind-the-scenes architects of modern R&B. Moving to Atlanta in the late 1980s, Joyce signed a 16-year-old unknown named Dallas Austin to her production company. Dallas went on to produce first TLC and Boyz II Men albums. She discovered and developed Lloyd when he was just 11 years old, guiding him through 4 major record deals. She signed 13-year-old Sammy, who became a platinum-selling artist. In 2012, she won an ASCAP Songwriter Award for co-writing Fat Joe and Chris Brown's Another Round, proving she never lost her touch. Joyce's company Diva One Productions helped create hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue for the Atlanta music scene. Meanwhile, Bernadette Cooper continued producing for major artists, including Cheryl Lynn, Shalimar, and Paula Abdul. Her solo album, Drama According to Bernadette Cooper, received critical acclaim. As for the net worth, the original members have built substantial careers. Joyce Irby's behind-the-scenes success and ASCAP royalties likely put her in the millions. Bernadette Cooper's production work and touring keeps her financially stable, but the ongoing legal battles and fractured royalties mean none of them earned what they should have from their groundbreaking music. The tragedy is that Klymaxx's influence is immeasurable. They inspired countless female musicians to pick up instruments. They proved women could control every aspect of their artistry. BET voters ranked them the 5th best female group of all time, behind only the Supremes, Destiny's Child, En Vogue, and TLC. But their legacy is bigger than any controversy. Klymaxx didn't just break barriers, they obliterated them. In an industry that told women to look pretty and sing sweetly, they grabbed instruments and demanded respect.
How incredible was it to be able to find a group of women with common musical interests that actually played instruments?
From Joyce standing on loading ramps with her bass, to Bernadette creating a musical revolution from Compton, to Lynn writing one of the biggest ballads of the 1980s, these women changed everything. That's the Klymaxx story they never told you. The story of pioneers who refused to be silenced, even when their own industry and their own bandmates tried to erase their contributions. Today, their music still inspires new generations through streaming and social media. The songs have been sampled by modern artists and featured on shows like Saturday Night Live because true revolutionary spirit can't be trademarked, stolen, or erased.